Your dreams will come true if your mind isn't glued to the fact that life is so blue.
Hi there, it's Sandy and Annalene, and welcome to the Sandy and Friends podcast. And today we're with Don Lowe's again. Hey Don, how's it going?
Good, Sandy.
Hi, oh my goodness, it's Don again. Yes, we got him back. We didn't drive him off the first time. Isn't that good?
No, I didn't get scared away.
Oh, that's good. All right, okay. So Don, I've got a lot of questions for you here. Are you ready for them?
I'm getting ready. I think, yep, I'm good to go. Let's do it.
I'm glad you had your moment of preparation. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so county line, no fear. Oh my goodness. So for those of you who don't know, you should watch the movie. It's fantastic. So Don, would you give like a little synopsis here of the movie?
Oh wow. I did the movie like about a year ago, maybe a little more. But yeah, it just came out, and it's on Amazon Prime. It's on Vudu. Um, it's about a sheriff played by Tom Wopat, who's been a sheriff there a long time, and there's a county line, and I guess there's a sheriff on one side and a different sheriff on the other. But anyway, he's getting ready to retire. But then some events take place where this, sort of this bad guy. He's part of a organized crime mob, so to speak, in from Atlanta, and they're doing some dirty business, and then it's making it hard for him to retire. And the new sheriff that was coming in is I play her dad. My character is the dad to the new sheriff, and she and I had a deal because, as it turns out, I'm sort of this career criminal, kind of a low-level career criminal, and so she said the deal we had, as long as I stay out of her county and don't do anything in her county, we'll be okay. So I won't give too much away, but things get a little complicated, and so it's a very interesting dynamic that takes place with her trying to do her job as sheriff, and yet dealing with her dad, me, who's a bit of a character, and it was a fun character to play. It was a lot of fun. So that's kind of the basis of the story.
Don, you are such a good actor. Like, how do you seem like such a nice, genuine guy. So how do you go about, what is that you find in you to play a character like Rick?
Yeah. Well, Rick was, even though he's like this career criminal, he wasn't, he's decent. He's got a decent heart. He's not really too terrible a guy. I've played guys worse than him. And that was tougher, to find that side of me, or and answer to your question, when you have to do those sort of things, some of it is your just imagination. Some of it is experiences where you've either, come into contact with some other people like that, or then you might have to do some research if you haven't, and find, whether it be in books or other films or newspaper articles, or, and try to find some connection. And like I said, sometimes it's your imagination and observation, and then sometimes it's tapping into aspects of your own personality that, if you, there's a magic word that, well, Stanislavski, who was sort of the creator of the method acting style and or approach to acting, had this phrase called "as if." So what you do is you imagine, if you can't find yourself from your own experiences in something else, in for a character, you can imagine yourself as if you were in a certain situation, and you create a situation in your mind that would bring you to that kind of emotion. So it's some kind of neat ways of approaching a character by using that imagination, the imaginary, as if, as they like to say, and you have to create. You could combine things, like if I was if I was in a certain situation, and then somebody did this to me because they were, feeling a certain way, how would I react? And then that might give you, if those things are real to you, if you create enough things that are real and put them in an imaginary situation, and then see how you would react to it and feel, that might give you what you need. So you have to be very sort of, take a lot of time to find just the right imaginary circumstances that would light up what you need inside.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh, I've never heard of like put like that. Oh, that's wild. So there were pieces in there where you were like in life or death situations. Is that the way you had to approach that?
Um, yeah, I mean, those th- those weren't too hard when you get on the set and you're actually, and there's all the physical action that's going on. Sometimes that can give you enough. Um, and you don't have to. It would be much harder if you were doing an audition and you were having to create, play something, and you're in a room sitting in front of somebody at a desk, and you have to do it. Then that's tough, and you have to find, the stimulus that I was referring to, the different kinds of stimulating things that you could imagine to get you to where you need to be. But when we were on the set, and if I was, running away, or somebody pointing a gun, and you're actually in a physical location like that, it's pretty easy to get into that, for me at least.
Oh, right. So oh, that's really neat. So you had to switch between parts where you were like, this criminal tough guy and being fatherly toward Joanne. Was that difficult to turn on and off?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I think that's what I was referring to, where with his daughter, he seems like a guy with a lot of heart and a good dad. And that wasn't hard for me at all because I have two daughters. So it was, that was fairly easy for me to slip into. Some of the other parts that you alluded to, those are where I had to use some of those tools that I was referring to, observation and imagination, imaginary circumstances that you create to find where you need to be. And so you have to really know what, you also have to analyze the material so that you know what exactly is going on, so that you know what you're reaching for. So it's a lot of playing with mind games, a lot of mind games going on.
That's really neat. I love how you have such a cerebral approach to it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. So I gotta ask about the different actors. What were they like to work with?
Oh, they were great. It was a terrific cast. Um, I mentioned Tom Wopat plays the sheriff who's retiring. Um, Casper Van Dien was great as the villain. He did a terrific job. Also, I really liked his performance, and uh, and Kelsey Crane played my daughter. She was great too. Everyone was so nice and totally professional, and were ready when it was time to go for anybody's scene. They were so prepared and ready to go, and the director, who also was the cinematographer, who the director of photography, he did a great job, and it was super nice. It was a great company to work with. Uh, there's they have different names of several companies. Inspire Films was one of them, and they were terrific company to work for.
Oh, wait, so that your villain there, Zed, he's actually a nice guy?
Yes, the guy who played Zed, Casper Van Dien, is a really nice guy. Really nice guy. That shows you, how good some of these actors are. You see him in the role, you figure, oh, he must be kind of like that guy, and then you realize he's not, and you're like, whoa, that's the magic and the joy of acting for me.
Oh, I love that you love it so much. Listening to you talk about it, it's like it's so evident in the way you speak that you just love it so much.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I guess I knew I wanted to do it since I was pretty young, like about 9 is when I kind of knew I wanted to pursue it. So, but I didn't really do anything about it till I was about 13. And then with my parents' help, I started going to a school in New York City for acting and singing and really pursuing it.
Oh, I think we were talking about that in the last time I interviewed. So
Yeah, I
those
think so.
watching who want to know more about that, you can see
Right.
the first interview
That's right. That's what they need to do.
together. All right. I know nothing. Take 3. I know nothing about the way the weapons are used on set. So are they like digitally created, all the effects of the guns and everything, or are those real?
Um, no, the guns that they used on that show, they were real guns, and they're very, very careful. The prop master and the assistant director, they that whenever there was a gun that somebody had to use, they would come to the actor and show you and open it up and show you that it was either empty, in some cases it's empty, and then they create, like you said, it, um, the noise or the effect afterwards, or sometimes they use blanks and they would show you that they're blanks, so they'll make the noise and the smoke, but
Oh,
but it doesn't fire a bullet, so it just creates that effect. So but they'll show it to you, and so that that it's not a live piece of there's no live ammunition in the gun.
oh, right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Are you used to working with those things on set? Have you done that a lot?
Not a lot, just every once in a while, a couple of times in all the stuff I've done, maybe 2 or 3 times.
That must be really freaky.
A little bit. It is a little unnerving. That's why it's good that they show you. But there's been accidents. There's been tragic accidents that have happened for human error. There's there's a well-known case going on right now. So a lot, you as an actor, you have to. It's good that they come to you and show you, and I'm always aware of making sure of the same. But anyway, but it's also to some degree a little bit, when I was young, when I was a kid, I used to love to play, cowboy. So I'd have my toy guns and a holster and all that. So it brought that back to me a little bit. It's like being a kid playing.
That's really funny, actually. Oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Um, on that note, let's talk about your Western coming out. Are you allowed to
Yeah.
give, like a
Yeah.
little synopsis or anything?
A little bit. Yeah, because I did that more recently. I did that a few months ago. It's called Far Haven, and it was a really good script, and there was a lot of great actors in it. And this was my first Western, so I talked about wanting to play cowboy, and I didn't really get to play a cowboy in this though. I play a guy who's the owner of the mercantile shop, where you come and get your goods and the goods for your ranch and all the different supplies that you need. So I wasn't, I didn't have to ride a horse, and I didn't have to carry a gun or in this one. Um, so but it was still so much fun I was still in the period wardrobe, and the costumer was great. So everybody looked just so authentic, and you feel it. And we were shooting in an area at Mescal, Arizona, and there was this movie set there, like where they've shot westerns in the past. So it was like a street that had all the old Western buildings. And so, you're walking down the street, it's like you're really in the Old West. And everywhere around it, all you could see was prairie and mountains. So you could shoot it and almost in any direction. And it served the purpose of putting you exactly in that time period. So it was really cool. I took a lot of photos. The other actors, that Bruce Boxleitner was in it, who has done stuff for so many years, a lot of great work. Martin Cove, who was in the the Cobra Kai series, you know, the takeoff of the Karate Kid. I forget the name of that series, but anyway, he was in it, and a bunch of A. Martinez was in it, and Susan Stafford, a lot of great actors. So I'm really looking forward. That should be coming out this year. I'm not sure. Probably it'll come out on Amazon Prime at some point. But I'll shoot you a message, Andy, so you can update this for whoever's interested once I know when it's coming out.
Awesome. What's the name of it?
Far Haven.
Neat. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch that. I have to know, so jumping from genre to genre, does that affect your preparation for the character you're playing, or is that dependent on the character?
It's more just the character. I mean, to some degree, you know, like let's say False and I was asked to play, you know, something in a superhero movie. Well, then, yeah, then probably what I would want to do is watch some of those to get a feeling of the tone, of the feeling of, you know, because there's maybe a little different tone to the way how the actors come off in that or a sci-fi movie or a horror movie, or, you know, or a straight drama, or a broad comedy versus a more serious comedy, like a dramedy. You know, the tone's going to be different. So you have to figure out who the character is, just like in any other project. But the tone of it, you want to be aware of, so that you're feel like you're in the same movie as everybody else, you know, and that you're not from like a different movie than they are. You know, it would clash.
All right, to make it like a cohesive, right? Okay.
Right.
You use the term dramedy. Is that real? Is that actually a?
Oh yeah, yeah. There is a term. It's for, you know, for a project, a script that has comedy and drama in it. You know, so that it's kind of like life. You know, in life there are things sometimes that are serious and sometimes they're funny. So usually those are going to be, you know, more very true to life. So the comedy is not a broad kind of comedy. It's a more subtle, more realistic and true to life kind of comedy. If it's a dramedy, and there could be even something that's straight comedy, but it's more low key, more true to life. You know, it depends on. There's so many different genres, but yes, that is a term, dramedy, for those TV series. Usually, it's a TV series where it's both comedy and drama.
Oh, Annalyn. Yes, of course. I'm still here, Dawn.
Oh, good. We can't forget you.
Never. I'm the star. You're only here for me. Only me.
Oh, well, now I'm glad you told me. Now let's talk. I'll talk only to you from now on. Is that okay?
Is it okay? Yes. Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I'm going to talk to both of you.
Oh, you're so sweet, Dawn. Thank you for
Thank you. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. So, what kind of the character are you gonna be playing in Farhaven?
Oh yeah. So he's like I said, he's the owner of this mercantile shop, but he's kind of a guy that is a little bit I don't want to say making trouble, but he's always sort of finding the negative in things. He's one of these guys that, you know, if there was people voting on something, and most people are for it, he's probably going to be against it. He seemed to be always looking like the glass is, you know, half empty as opposed to half full, and finding the negative. And so he could be a little annoying in that regard. And then he could also be get overreact. And he'll overreact to things and but in a passionate way. He feels deeply, but he might overreact in some of the situations, as you'll see when the movie comes out.
So, what drew you to this role?
Well, it was again the same company that I did County Line with, and I really liked working with them. So so that was a plus right away. And then when I read the script, I thought it was really well. William Shockley, who's in the movie, wrote the script, and he did a great job. It's really well executed script, and I'd never done a Western, so all those factors came into play, and I figured, yeah, let's do this. It'll be again another. I like playing all different kinds of characters, so it was great going from, this career criminal in a modern setting, and then going into this Western, and earlier in the last, I have two other movies that are on Amazon Prime now that came out the year before, and that's called Lost Heart, where I play a small town pastor, and then in Man's Best Friend, where I play a defense attorney. So I love all the switching from one to the other, and playing a diverse, wide variety of roles is what I love doing.
I love the diversity you have in acting. I think that's just the coolest thing. Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. Appreciate that.
So you have a new CD coming out, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited about that too. The last CD, it's not the very first one I did. I did an album back in '76, but it wasn't the music that I really wanted to do, because I always loved the Great American Songbook, the standards and jazz standards, and so I have a CD that came out about 5 years ago called D Mostly Swinging, with a great big band, and and it's jazz, but the standards. So this new one is somewhat similar in that we're doing a lot of the jazz standards again, but it's not with a big band. It's with a more contemporary, smaller jazz combo, like 5 pieces, and maybe a rhythm section, and then maybe a saxophone will be in there and do a solo, or a trumpet will come in and do a solo, or an organ or something like that. So it's a more contemporary jazz setting, and it's the first single came out about a month ago, and it's called "Smoke from a Distant Fire." So that's out right now. You can find it on iTunes or Spotify and all those places. It's called "Smoke from a Distant Fire," and then we're going to be releasing another single probably in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to find out which one it is in a day or so. So I still don't know which one is going to be the second single. Then the CD is going to come out after that, and around the time that we're releasing a third single. So I imagine that it's going to come out. The second single will be out in a few weeks, but the full CD might not be for, might be like 6 weeks, for a month to 2 months, something like that.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to hearing it, Don.
Yeah, I can't wait for people to hear it. The name of it is going to be New York High. New York and then high, like if you're high in the sky. New York High.
Oh, I'm in New York.
All right. Then I think you're going to love the song.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
Oh, you have such a beautiful voice. I'm so looking forward to hearing it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Sandy. And let's see, what else can I tell you about the CD? I really love the production. I did this with a producer in Nashville. We recorded it in Nashville, and the producer's name is Tony Mantor, and he's a very experienced producer, and he did a great job. And so it's going to be different than my previous CD. It's going to have a different kind of feel to it, and but I think it came out great. I'm pretty excited about it.
Sounds groovy. Where are people going to be able to get the CD?
On iTunes and Amazon, and I'm sure it will also be on Spotify and some of the other platforms that there's so many now I can't keep track of. but definitely iTunes and Amazon.
I am gonna listen to this CD more than anyone in the whole world. I can tell you that already.
Oh, right. I love that.
You already got a listener. Where can people follow you for updates, Don?
Oh, good question. I post on Facebook. It's under Don Most, and on Instagram it's Don Most One, and on Twitter it's at most_Don, and then I have a website which I have to update because I haven't updated it, and I won't even say how long. But I'm gonna give that some loving care soon and pay attention to it and update it. And that's realdonnymost.com.
Oh, are we Instagram friends? I think we should be Instagram friends. I don't know if
I
we
don't
also.
know. We should be. If we're not, well, I'm Don Most One, so reach out to me if
I'll take a look. We might be, but I'm not. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. Well, definitely reach out to me and let's confirm that.
I'll reach out to you, Don. I manage all of her pages.
Well, I'm glad that you're so responsible and on top of things.
Yeah, me too, me too. I've got one more question for you, and I asked this to, I think, everybody. I don't know if I asked you this. I might not have been doing it when I first interviewed you, but I always ask my interviewee to provide the world with some words of wisdom. So do you have any advice to like aspiring actors? Oh no.
To aspiring, oh gosh, it's a tough question because the profession is, I mean, the field is, it's so well, there's so much competition, and it could be very unfair and very difficult. So what I usually tell people is that unless you just want to do it so much, where you love it, and that's all you can see yourself doing, if that's the case, then yes, pursue it. You know, go find a good acting school, and really study and learn the craft. But if you don't have that passion and that kind of love for it, then I usually don't encourage people. I'd say, you know, it's just so, it could be crazy and unfair and just very, very difficult. So, but if you have that passion for it, then perseverance. You need a lot of perseverance and to apply yourself by, like I said, finding a good place to study and work with other actors and, you know, with a good teacher. Then I would say pursue that.
Oh, I love that. There you have it, folks. Don Most.
Well,
Well, thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about all these projects.
Well, it's great to see you both. And
See you.
And then when you know, when I have some other things going on, we could do it again next year.
Awesome. I can't wait. It'll be so much fun.
Beyond the clouds and the rain, a place where your sadness drains, where the sun peers over your sadness and your pain. There is no gravity, yet within this cavity you make your own truth. Your dreams will come true if your mind isn't glued to the fact that life is so blue. Your dreams cannot stay if you don't repay yourself for making it through. The path to making your dreams come true.